I was like, is anyone going to be watching us? And there are people watching us. So hello. Awesome. Hi. Welcome. We are discussing the third episode of Dexter New Blood. And speaking of new blood, even though she's been on live streams before, Carla is joining us. So it's not just she
Hello.
and I talking about handcuffing people to bed. So it'll be Carla talking about that too. That's usually just me talking about it. What am I talking about? Hey, Mel.
Hi,
Yay. Did you watch this episode? I know you don't care about spoilers, but did you watch the episode? Because I know you're watching, you have been watching them, so I'm curious. But so Carla, how we have been starting these is by giving a rating. So it's a rating of blood slides. So on a scale of, you scrubbed through it. I have some thoughts on that word for some reason with this, but anyway, so we've been giving our rating on a scale of 1 to 5 blood slides. So I'm curious, and because you haven't been on the other two, I want to know your ratings for the first two and then this one.
Ooh, okay. So the first one is going to get 3 blood slides from me. I'm grading on a harsh scale. I'm grading harshly.
Even harsher than Jen. Wow.
Because the thing is, like, I expect more to happen during this season, so I'm like, okay, let's see what else they're gonna come up with. So it's 3 for the first one, 4 for last week's, because that one was so good. But I feel like there's something else that they're holding out for, that they're gonna, really bring something on. So I'm like, okay, I know that there's a 5 in there somewhere. So I'm just gonna wait to, give it to them on merit and not like, oh yeah, I guess this one is 5 too, even though whatever. Sorry. And then this one is a 3 because there's a lot of setup going on. It was very good, but there's just a lot of setup. So it wasn't like a lot of stuff moving forward. So, it was good, but there's more, I'm sure.
Interesting. Okay.
Erin, do you want like 5s across the board for every
I
episode?
haven't given
Like,
a 5. I haven't given a 5 yet because I didn't want to get.
Would have.
Yeah. Yes, I would have. So. Yes, last week's was really good, Mel. I agree. So, Jen, are you giving this one a 4 still? Are you sticking with your 4, or are you going lower or higher?
I'm going to go low. I'm going to go 3 on this one. I completely agree with Carla that this one was good, but it's still setting up a lot of stuff. So there were some just kind of moments that I really liked, but yeah, I agree. I think they're just kind of laying that groundwork, and hopefully the next episode, the intensity kind of comes back a little bit more. Someone kills someone, for fuck's sakes. It's a murder show. My God.
Not enough murders for Jen.
Not enough murdering. When I watch murder shows, there needs to be a bit more murdering. So we'll see.
That's a fair thing to demand from a murder show.
Yeah.
Like we're watching a show about a serial killer. There's been one murder. Does he really deserve
the girl died. We forgot about the girl again.
Oh God!
That's why I said there was a murder. That's why I just said there was a murder once again. There was, and it was a really creepy.
It was really, really creepy.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's
when people
well. Yeah, but first of all, when people are running away from a situation where like they're pretty sure their life is on the line, serpentine, zigzag, bitch. Why do people keep running in straight fucking lines? Oh my God.
There's and especially after she saw the red laser pointing at her.
Right. Sorry, but also, I feel like it's totally cheating. Like, if you think that you're some really cool, hunter of people thing, and you're using something like a kind of a scope and a laser light, you're a crappy sport.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you're not as cool as you think you are.
No,
that's very true. Shame on you, murderer.
Well, you can't even murder right.
Yeah.
Well, anyone want to guess what my rating is going to be?
Should probably maybe bring it to a 4.
4.9.
4.9. A 4? You think I'm going to do a 4?
I think we'll do a 4.
Well, I'm going to
maybe. Well, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
I was gonna say maybe even a 4.5 just for the Deb Fargo scene alone.
Oh,
'Cause I
that
know how
was
much
so good.
I know how
That
much you
scene
love that.
caught me completely off guard.
It
It was
the
so
best.
hilarious because first of all, she's holding that limb, and like the reason that
Yeah.
because when I was tweeting, I tweeted that what was it, Evil Dead Fargo,
Mhm.
that it reminded me
Yes.
because like the Evil Dead thing is like Ash with his chainsaw arm, but
Yes.
it's Deb holding up a limb, and it's hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
so
It was
funny.
amazing.
That was one of the best scenes ever. Well, I'm going to be very original and give it a 4.5 again.
I knew it.
I'm trying to prevent myself from loving this too much, but I love it. I can't help it. I think, I honestly think I kind of liked this episode almost more than last week's episode, which I guess I'm in the minority here. And the reason I say that is number one, even though I really don't want Harrison to be a serial killer, that's like, I really don't want him to be a killer. I like what they're doing with Harrison, and I really actually kind of like Harrison. And I think the serial killer that we keep forgetting is killing people is super creepy, like uber creepy. And I think that makes a big difference. The happiness is in the being. I'm just saying.
You know what, Mal? Okay, it's gonna be always too soon.
I'm not sure. Is that a 91 whiskey reference?
Not even. It's canon from the show from episode 15, 18.
Oh, it is. See, I'm sorry.
Yes. When we get the
There was a random fandom mentioned, by the way, and it's a tangent. Okay.
I'm not gonna get into the rest of it because I was about to do like this whole thing and break down the scene for you. And okay, look, okay, this is the last of the bottle of wine that I opened that I'm drinking by myself because my mom doesn't like to drink when she has to drive home. My husband doesn't drink, and I have an 8-year-old, so he's not invited to the party.
I only had like 2 glasses of wine.
You also had 7 cups of coffee, though, so I think that kind of more than balances that out.
Yeah.
And I had an almond croissant. I'm just going over the sweets I had. I had an almond croissant this morning, like a fresh baked one, not one I bought somewhere that was already made. I mean, I didn't make it from scratch all the way, but and then I had a slice of pie, and then I had a slice of my penis cake that I wanted to try clean just because I was worried it was going to go stale. And the top of the
nobody wants stale penis.
No, you got to get that dick cake when it's nice and fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And the tip of it
The tip
fell off. The tip broke off. I'm not even kidding. I was able to place it back on top because I was like, I'm not going to cut this yet.
circumcise your penis cake.
More than
And I just don't know what to do with that.
circumcised.
I don't know what to do with that information. I'm just, whoa, that is
an
so much
image.
going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has nothing to do with Dexter, but at least I don't think it does. No, are you reacting
it's
to
only 3 episodes in.
Yeah. Is the no in reaction to the tip broke off? It was so funny because I was just kind of looking at it and like, I wonder what this is made out of. And I just kind of touched it and it just broke. It just broke off. It didn't shatter. It just kind of broke off. It was
Couldn't handle it. Just too much excitement for the tip of the penis cake.
It was premature.
Yeah.
It happens to all of the penis cakes I've heard.
Yeah.
It's so
Common.
fragile. Yeah. I was telling the waiter yesterday, it's like, because everybody wanted to look at it after I won it. And you know what's so funny? You want to know, okay, this is how mature I am. I've been there before, and I know that that's the grand prize is this cake. And I think they sometimes put other things on it, but it's usually a penis. And I said to my sister, I'm like, I want to win that cake. And I didn't think I was going to win it. And then when I won it, I was like, oh my gosh. My sister's like, I can't believe you won that cake. And everybody wanted to look at it, and the waiter was looking at it. And then the waiter's like, I bet that's more than you ever imagined. Or something. And then he's like, the look of that is going to haunt me. And I'm like, well, I'm bringing it to Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow. And he just I didn't, because I think my grandma probably would have fainted, and my uncles would have been furious or something. I don't know. They would have been offended. So I decided not to do that. But anyway,
so what was the tip made out of? Now that we've gone off?
I didn't eat it, so I don't know. I don't think it's not what's that stuff called? Fondant? I don't think it's fondant, because it seems too, I don't know, thick for that. I should have brought it up here.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I was going to eat that on Saturday at the birthday live stream, but then I'm like,
just curious, did it have filling by any chance?
No, I was very disappointed. It was like, well, the cake itself, like the frosting is white, so I don't know if they were trying.
That was a very, very busy penis cake.
Yes.
Oh, but I was.
No wonder it fell off prematurely. It had already done its job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway,
if you ever get to go to Drag Queen Bingo, I seriously highly recommend it. That was my second time going, at least here. I'd been to Hamburger Mary's before. Hamburger Mary's is not just in Colorado, by the way. But it's so much fun. And when you do win, which this is the first time I've ever won a bingo thing, you do a victory lap. And while you're doing the victory lap, everybody throws their bingo cards at you and says, fuck you. They all yell. Well, actually, first, when you're standing up there, they're like, okay, because they get your name. They're like, okay, everybody yell, fuck you, Aaron. So everybody yells it back at you.
I love that.
That's awesome.
And then you run through there and people just pelt them, and people get vicious about it. Let me tell you, they're like, boom.
They're really just like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's so much fun. Yeah, and it's very raunchy, and like I said,
this is a blast.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's so much fun. So anyway, this is nothing to do with Dexter, obviously. Oh, they should do an episode where Dexter goes to Drag Queen Bingo.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, I liked Deb, of course. I like Harrison, except for I'm hoping these are all just red herrings and stuff, and he's not actually a bad guy. And then I really think the serial killer is creepy. I have a new theory about him. And I think and I'm wondering what Matt Caldwell's dad is doing, because unless this is all in Dexter's mind.
Right. Because I was
his
like,
son is
what
dead.
is that?
So.
Well, my thought is that, who has an interest in making this guy believe that his son is still alive?
Mm-hmm.
Because Kurt genuinely seemed like all of his feelings or whatever seemed pretty genuine. Like the guy has no filter. So it seems to me like somebody is messing with him.
Mm-hmm.
But then who would have an interest in doing that?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I know. That's why. I mean, I have so many theories about this whole show right now, but yeah. So do you think
I have none.
You have none? Really? You have
I'm
none?
so happy.
I have just a couple of theories, but
I don't know why
most
I'm
of them
so
are honestly
shocked,
fueled
but-
by wine at this point. So I don't really trust
wine-fueled
them.
theories might be the best ones. They
Fine,
might be
I can
the
tell you
most
some of
accurate.
those.
Yes, I want to hear
Ooh,
some
I can
wine.
tell you some of those. All right, so here's one.
Aliens. No, just kidding.
Yes.
No, let's keep this grounded, please. Like, let's be real here. Okay. All right. So I'm thinking that so somebody is leading Kurt on so that he thinks that Matt is still alive. And it's probably somebody from Matt's entourage. And it might even be this woman, this park woman who is the true crime
Oh, yeah.
person for whom it would be very convenient if this was not an open and shut case. And also, maybe she also had a steamy past with Matt. And maybe she's carrying his baby. And like, there's some kind of like clause in Matt's trust that if he gets somebody pregnant, that he has to be alive for the money to transfer to her and the baby. And so with Matt dead, then this park woman gets nothing, and I mean nothing, because Kurt may love his son, but he does not care about his grandchildren. And so she's like, oh no, looks like he's real dead, bro. And like, what can I do about that? Oh, I know, Kurt, like, I'll just get him really drunk, and then I'll like, do a deep fake vid of Matt calling him up on like FaceTime or whatever. And he'll totally buy that.
You know who actually has an interest in keeping Matt alive is Penis Face. Because Penis Face is getting paid.
That's true.
That is true. Yes.
So what if like they try and set this up all to be like some big mysterious plot hole, and it's really just Dick Face, just trying to stay on the payroll?
And the park woman, the pregnant,
and they're in cahoots. Yeah,
they're in cahoots.
The pregnant,
she's
pregnant.
I can only remember her last name.
I couldn't even remember that. I just knew
I only remember it because
podcasters a bad name.
Oh, Randall Park. I like him. And then I got distracted for a couple of seconds, and then I went back to watching.
I just recognized her face, and then I couldn't place it, so I actually had to look it up tonight. And so she was in Lovecraft Country. So I was like, oh, and she's been in a bunch of other shit too that I've apparently seen, but I couldn't even like remember her character name. No, they didn't even say it. I was like, okay, we're on episode 3, so I hop on IMDb and I'm going to scroll until I see a recognizable Asian face. There she is.
Audrey mentioned her when they were at the dinner table.
Yeah,
and she's
they're talking about
true crime person, and she has like the #1 true crime podcast or whatever.
Yeah, and Angela's all like, a podcaster? I'm like, whoa, bitch. Whoa.
Look, Angela, I was like totally here for you, and I was like really rooting for you, and then you went and talked about podcasters like we're trash, and you're dating a serial killer. So
BT dubs.
Yeah, and you're alienating your child, who, I mean, that's really not your fault. Your child's kind of horrible, but you can't go like talking like that about podcasters. Like,
I know, it was pretty offensive. Although we do this. I know I do this for fandom stuff. I like go, I don't know, I go and what would be a thing for a fandom thing? I go and I crash conventions that I haven't been invited to. So,
it's giving us a bad name.
Okay. Bye. Sorry, I was looking at Mal's comment. Bye, Mal.
Good night, Mal.
Hope to see you Saturday. You can watch me fall apart. And eat my penis. I mean, no.
Eat your penis cake. Penis cake.
Sorry.
Whoa.
I don't want to get kicked off YouTube.
Whoa. That is a lot more than what we were promised originally for your birthday episode.
I meant the cake. A cake.
Yes.
It's sorry. That's why I'm like, I shouldn't do this on YouTube because I'll probably get in trouble. So anyway, and her name is Molly Park, by the way. Yeah. So Jen, do you have theories about do you agree with Carla's theory? Or do you have a different
My
theory?
amazing and very sober and coherent theory.
Your amazing
intriguing. I like it.
And if it happens,
that's the twist that only one of us saw coming.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. So I kind of think like the people hunter in white is Kurt. I still think it's Kurt that's kidnapping the girls, but I also feel like that's too obvious. And I'm trying to go by like when we get the close-up shots of the killer's like eyeball.
I know.
He's got like that little extra fold and skin over, and yellow-eyed demon oil guy, Timmy still thinks he's the one, but he doesn't fit the body type, like the body size of People Hunter Man. Kurt does, but I don't know if there's a player 3 that hasn't officially entered the game yet. So right now I'm still kind of going with Kurt. Other than podcaster Park and Dickface trying to blackmail or whatever, Kurt tricking him that Matt's alive. I don't really know who else it could be. For a second, I was like, could it maybe be Harrison? Because I think Harrison knows Dexter. If Harrison doesn't know that Dexter straight up killed Matt, he knows. I think Dexter knows that. I think Harrison knows Dexter's involved with the Matt thing somehow. And this may be an attempt to kind of throw off Kurt and get him off, kind of back off and get off the property and everything, and trying to help his dad, maybe. But other than that, that's all I got for the Hunter and White and Matt's alive theories.
I still think that the Hunter and White is the creepy rich dude. For no reason other than I want him to be.
You mean the oil guy?
The only reason is that I have no evidence. I just want him to be, because then Dexter can kill him, and then I don't have to see him for 2 very good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You mean Edward?
Sure.
Yeah, who played Yellow.
And that's what he's calling himself.
Yep. Okay, well, I have a theory, and I know I'm probably wrong, and Jen is not gonna like my theory about who the guy is. I still think it could be a couple of people, and they're all working together. But my new theory, and it happened during I was rewatching it, it's because he keeps playing off like he's really dumb, like he goes and approaches the police dog, does all that stuff. I think it's Teddy. Honestly, because there was something when I watched that again, I was like, he's playing too dumb.
Mm-hmm.
No police officer would not know that you don't approach a dog, a sniffing dog, you know what I mean?
A cadaver dog. Which, hey, they finally brought the dogs in. So
I mean, all of them are sniffing dogs, really. So at least everyone that I've encountered.
I know. I'm like walking Fergie this morning, and it happened to snow a little tiny bit. We have not gotten actual measurable snow yet this season. It's really scary. It's really kind of creepy. But she was sniffing so much this morning, and it was so cold this morning. I was so annoyed with her. Anyway, I love Fergie, but I'm like, oh my gosh. And then she stops because Carrie treats because she reacts to things. So try to get attention. And she knows they're in the pocket. So sometimes she'll just like cross the street, and she's like, I crossed the street, I get a treat. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. And she just looks at me, and I'm like, no.
She knows you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like, I know they're in that pocket. I see them. I'm like, yeah, but all you did was cross the street. Anyway, sorry. Except for the dogs. But yeah, just watching that, I went, it's Teddy. It just all of a sudden it just hit me, because all the other people are so flippin' obvious.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like I said, every single white male in this show is sketchy as hell, which is very accurate. But
and so to me, like, Teddy would be the more obvious one, because so
Yeah.
often in crime shows, it's the guy who's just kind of, like goofy in the
That's true.
background and all of that. And like, that's why I discounted him right off the bat, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I didn't think of that until tonight. That was the first time I thought that.
Well, I think that came up last week though too, and I don't know, maybe more in just like in jest, but even I would agree that tonight when he went up to pet the cadaver dogs, like yeah, even a rookie that's only been
Would
on the
not
force
do
for like
that.
2 weeks wouldn't fucking do that, because I feel like that's very plausible, because with the crime scene investigator guy, they kind of tried to set him up to be a doofus, and he ended up knowing his shit. So
Which made me
maybe,
very happy.
yeah. So it's like they kind of brought us that. So I don't know. Now that kind of helps add that fuel to that Teddy fire. So he might be, if he's not, I don't think he's the people hunter guy, but he may be in some sort of like recruitment or
For
something.
the people hunter guys. I'm just kidding.
Or just like just feeding information to people hunter guy. But yeah, I hope he's not, because I'd like to keep him just as a doofus and just be funny in that way. I don't want him to turn out to be a baddie. Unless he
I
ends
was
up
like,
like,
Jen's gonna hate me for saying
unless
this.
he flips it and he ends up being like really super scary. So
Yeah.
like,
But then,
that's scary.
it's like I also think of there were in the original run of the series, there were like plenty of characters who were just kind of goofy and inept and everything, and like they weren't the killer; they were just
Yeah.
goofy and inept people in the show. So maybe your boy's safe.
Maybe.
I personally find him deeply annoying, but I can see the charm.
I love how stupid and just he broke the drone. What a dipshit.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I love it.
He's useless.
He's super useless, and I love it. And like, it was in like, I think episode, like last week's episode, he's setting up the tape and he's just like, there's something about his attitude, just kind of like he's not at a crime scene. He's just like outside on this like nice wintry day, and he's just like, oh hey, and it cracks me up.
He's just having fun.
Yeah, like he's just taking a walk, running into people,
living his best life.
But I definitely have gotten rid of my theory that it's a couple of people that are the killers, because that was my original theory. But the way that she was murdered and then how methodical the person was with cleaning that scene was, oh my gosh, cleaning and then like embalming the body or whatever. That to me, I was like, no, it's just a solo person, because I just
wait, wasn't there a coroner at one point?
Was there a coroner?
I don't know. I might be mixing it up with other shows that I've watched this week. Never mind.
I don't know if there was. I don't know.
There could have been. There could have been not. So
I don't think so.
I'm not taking it back though. I mean, they have to have a coroner somewhere. So
episode 4.
Episode 4 all will be revealed.
Debut. Yeah. Here's the coroner.
Or my other theory that I just had looking through the cast, and this would be total red herring, you would never see this coming, is the owner of the shop that Fred Jr.
Yeah.
Now that would be bizarre.
That would be extremely bizarre.
Yeah.
I do not see that at all, but
I don't either.
They're getting ready to adopt like the dog, or no, they have the dog now or whatever. So he's got a lot going. He doesn't want to jeopardize all of that.
I mean, but then again, like Dexter, he had the girlfriend who then became the wife, and then there were the kids, and then there was the Harrison, and he was like, I'm still gonna murder people. That's just who I am, man.
That's true.
That's true.
Until he ran away and grew a beard and then ungrew it, and then grew his hair weird.
And then got a terrible haircut. He thought like the beard was a bad idea. It's like
the haircut is awful. I mean, I know that he hasn't killed anybody in this many years until Matt, but I mean, he still committed crimes of the hair nature. And I don't know that that's forgivable either.
That's even worse.
It is potentially worse.
That's pretty bad.
No, his hair is, I cannot get over how bad his hair is. I don't remember it being that bad in the original run of Dexter.
It was a little longer. It was a little longer and covered a bit more of that forehead. I understand the problem, so I get it. So it's like,
but you know what? The problem with that solution is that it just brings it more to the forefront. It's like, oh, okay, so you're doing this because your hairline is receding. Great. So now that's all I can think about is your receding hairline. I was probably going to be fine ignoring it if your hair was normal, but you decided to do this, and now that's all I can think about. Oh, right. He's also a murderer. Right. Suddenly he's a father too, but mostly the receding hairline that is covered up.
So do you think that Michael C. Hall is like, I'm really getting embarrassed about this. I'm going through a midlife crisis. I'll ask him. Michael?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
I don't need to do an accent for that one.
Mm-mm.
That's
No,
my
that's-
impression right
that's
there.
your
That was
Michael
some
C.
spot
Hall.
on mouth breathing. Oh,
Poor Michael C. Hall.
He's a
Yeah.
fantastic actor. He is wonderful.
Yes.
The mouth breathing, I can almost overlook. The hair, not at all.
no forgiveness on the hair.
I do wonder that though. Is that I don't know. I'll ask him that when I interview him. I'm sure he would love to answer that question.
Hey, you know what? Like you're asking him about his truth, okay? Like what person doesn't want to talk about their truth?
I'll be like, let's dig into this, Michael. Are you
Maybe
okay?
That was a choice of like, this is where Dexter is now, making bad choices, not knowing what he's doing. And it started with the hair.
Was that deep? Sorry.
Deep character
It all
analysis
informs,
on that
yes,
one.
exactly. It all informs the character. It's really brilliant
Yeah,
if you think
it
about it.
is. Yeah.
Or even if you don't, it's still brilliant.
Yep. Michael, comment.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
There are so many people that I want to have on this show, and I'm like, if they go back and listen to certain things, they'll be like, I don't know if I can come on that show. And this is one of them because I rave about him. So he'll be like, oh, never mind. She loves me. You just cannot have these people.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Hey, you know what? I will support you by not being on. I volunteered to not be on for that.
I mean, last week I said on a scale of 10 to 10, how do you think Michael Small is doing?
She gave me lots of options.
Yeah.
And Carla rates you a 20. Very good, Carla. On a scale of 30 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a scale of one of the best television performances to one of the best television performances you've ever seen.
On a scale of, was he robbed of an Emmy nomination or was he robbed of a Golden Globe nomination?
Well, he did get those, and he won a Golden Globe for season 4, but then he did not win the Emmy. And it's still a travesty. And he's been nominated a couple times for this role, but he's never won the Emmy.
You switched into hard, serious mode right there.
Yeah, she did.
Like,
he won our hearts. That's
this
really
is about facts.
What matters.
It's about facts.
I know. She's very offended and very upset.
Yes,
That
she's so upset.
Like, listen.
You know, I had. Go ahead.
Like, it's all fun and games until you talk about his nominations. I will not have this on my podcast. Not on this podcast, ma'am.
It's
I
true.
gotta draw the line somewhere.
I actually had a memory come up that I was like, I didn't even know I was on Facebook at this time, where I was screaming about the fact that he didn't win the
Aww.
That's so much. I love you, Michael C. Hall.
That's
See,
adorable.
you don't have to worry about the other people.
Yeah.
I still want to interview
He
you
gets to
as
sleep
Dexter.
above the bed tonight.
Above the bed.
You know, they rotate.
They do, yes. I don't
I
have
thought
my
you meant,
California
like-
King yet.
Well, I thought that you meant that you had to turn it into like a California King bunk bed because there's just so many people. And so he gets top bunk tonight.
You get top bunk.
Oh yeah.
The others are like, dang it. That was going to be my spot. That's been my spot for weeks. Dang it. Anyway, yeah. I'm moving Darren Criss way down because watching him on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was really painful.
Oh no.
Was it really?
Well, it wasn't his fault. It's just I'm like, why do I like someone who's so dang cheesy? This is so annoying. Sorry, Darren Chris.
Oh, but it could be
I'm
cute. Cheesy
like
can be
singing,
cute.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. I don't flipping
Oh,
care.
that one.
I love that
That
song so
song.
much.
You do?
I do. It's
Well,
one of
my
my
kids
go
like
listen
that.
to him sing. Yeah,
No, thanks. I'm not gonna
Not
do
that
that.
much.
not that much. But well, he did have cool nails. They were like he paints his nails all the time, and they were like I think like Christmassy colors or something. They looked pretty cool, and he was responding to all these people who were giving very negative feedback, and so he was like quote tweeting all of them.
Oh.
It was really funny. Not in a bad way either, because someone's like, "You're not holding the kazoo right. You're not doing that right," and he's like,
So critical.
"Well, I've always thought you should hold the kazoo a different way." And he's like, "Fun fact, that's the way I played on the song." Like, I don't know if that's true, but anyway, sorry.
He was having fun with it.
That part was fun. He still
Oh.
hasn't answered those people about why his concert was canceled, but
Ooh.
I know I still have the cup, so
That hasn't gone smash yet.
not yet, because I'm like, whatever. His wife is pregnant. We're still in a pandemic. I mean, maybe there's a
There-
million reasons.
Exactly.
None of our business. Anyway, sorry. We've gone on a lot of interesting tangents, but
Well, it's
you know,
because this episode was a 3.
it was a 4.5. Thank you very much. So
I'm sorry, but I do love every little moment that they give us, trying to hint that there's something going on with Harrison. So like when he turned around and he attacked like the bully guy, I just giggled, and then I thought of you, Aaron, because I was like, oh, she's not gonna like this at all. I like it. It's like I started the season not giving a shit about Harrison, but now I'm very like, I'm intrigued because I just need to know now. God damn it. Just fucking tell me. It's kind of like watching American Horror Story Cult. At a certain point, I was like, I don't give a shit. How is it going to end? I just, let's just get to it. It's all feelings. It's all about my feelings. And how these shows make me feel. And right now they both kind of are making me feel like, let's just get to the point. Let's get to the end. I need to know. I want to know and just be over with it. But I am having a little fun with these little sprinkles. I think maybe because I know it's tormenting you a little. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know.
We're Carla giving me crap on our last episode.
It's just called interacting. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's called interacting.
It's called giving you content.
It's true. I did make a whole lot.
I know. I'm like, what are you even talking about? Sending me mixed signals. No, but with this whole thing with Harrison, I like the way that I see it, because I really am refusing to see him as anything like Dexter. The way that I am choosing to interpret it for now, until I don't know, whatever they decide to do, is that he went through a lot. He's been exposed to a lot, and he probably did legitimately pick up a lot of these, self-protection skills along the way. The foster system is like notoriously not great. Kids are in a lot of situations where they have to kind of learn to defend themselves, or where he may have been on the receiving end of that chokehold. Like that was my interpretation, is that he himself was the person on the receiving end of it. And that's why he knows how to use it and why he's so nonchalant about it. The fact that he's so intelligent, that just speaks to me of the fact that the U.S. education system is total crap, and he was raised in South America and perhaps had better education than he would have had in the States. I mean, okay, this is back 30 some odd years ago when I came here and I was 9 or 10, and like the teachers were introducing what was it, like fractions, that's what it was. They were introducing fractions to my class, and I had covered fractions in first grade. And I was like, the hell is this? Why are you guys just getting to fractions? So I wouldn't be entirely surprised if Harrison is doing so well on these tests, not just because he's naturally smart, but also because he had a different education growing up. But, like, that's just like how I'm choosing to deal with this, because I refuse to see him as anything but, like Dexter's abandoned child. I don't want to find out that he has a trail of dead bodies all up and down
Squirrels. I
the.
think he's killed a lot of squirrels.
No, Jenny. He hasn't killed a single squirrel unless he had to because he was starving and he had to eat it.
Because he's on the run from killing more squirrels. So many squirrels. Now, sorry.
I mean, if you want to talk about flags, the fact that he suddenly doesn't like blueberries in his pancakes.
Yeah.
What is wrong with this child?
Well, I think that was
True.
more
They're
of a
delicious.
more of a dig to Dexter, of like, you're trying to bring
No,
something in from
absolutely.
my childhood, and
But those are delicious.
Yeah, but
So he's
a
gonna be like,
teenager.
oh,
Teenagers are
I'm too good for blueberries in my pancakes. I also like pancakes, but just not with blueberries in them, because I'm gonna scoff at you in this absolutely ridiculous way and I deprive myself of antioxidants.
Well, and then he's like,
Make that make sense, Jen.
he's a teenager and he's just a dick and he's harboring like dark tendencies. And he's thinking about all those squirrels that he killed.
No. I will be seriously. I am very optimistic about this season, but if he all of a sudden opens up a trunk and there's tons of dead squirrels in there, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Erin's gonna eat her microphone if he turns out to be a killer too.
I'm gonna eat my microphone.
Just rage eat it like.
See, what I was kind of thinking is like they're trying to lead us down this like path of Harrison might be a serial killer, killed a lot of squirrels. But I'm thinking that I'm also thinking that that's just going to be a misdirection. But maybe he somehow found out about like Harry's rules. Maybe not to the extent of like killing people, but he somehow is incorporating a bit of Harry's rules. Hence, maybe part of the reason why he decided to befriend Ethan. And who knows, maybe he might have to, if Ethan has a dark tendencies like we've seen in his beautiful artwork, very descriptive. What if Harrison has to do something to step in to prevent Ethan from doing something bad? Not necessarily kill him, but just stopping him from crossing a line, like kind of being a bit of a protector of like Ethan, the little guy, from these bully types, and not being afraid to stand up to these bully types. Because, like Carla pointed out, foster care system is a bitch. So he probably does know how to handle himself, and as we see, like in these kind of situations. So
yeah,
there's that potential too. I just think anything they do with him is going to be kind of cliche and predictable.
Well, I think everybody is expecting him to be a killer because of who his father is. So I think viewers. So I think that's kind of what they're thinking the expectation will be. Because I do think setting up that Ethan guy with the drawings, I instantly went, oh, okay, so what? Is he going to learn the code? And this is who he's going to first kill, and Dexter's going to help him learn that or something. And I really, if that happened, I just think that would be horrible. I don't know. I think it'd be so stupid and dumb. And my other,
it would just be sad. It's just like this never-ending chain of trauma and tragedy that, because so Dexter and his brother, the show made like this big deal about how their tendencies were really set off by this horrible event where they saw their mother be killed in that container. And like how that is what really set them up for becoming killers themselves. And yes, Harry was abandoned by Dexter, but by, as far as we know so far, he was raised lovingly by Hannah. And yes, he went through horrible things in the foster system, but that was later in his life and not during those same formative years. So, I honestly, who knows? But just following the show's own theories on the psychological evolution of young boys, like that wouldn't really work in there. That doesn't mean that you, because I honestly, like, as much as I want him to just be like a soft little bunny guy who is just all hard on the outside because he's led a scrappy life where he's had to fend for himself and he was raised by like the most obnoxious person in the entire show.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I really don't want him to be a murderer. Like,
I'm so glad you're on my side with this, Carla. Because
I don't want him to be horrible.
No, no.
But I mean, like, I could see how the show might take that route. I just really hope that they don't.
Yeah, and my other big theory, and this is the most outrageous out there theory that I have about what's going on in this show. My other theory, and I got this when Dexter was being questioned by what is his name again? The cop that he was being questioned by. I'm looking it up here. By Logan. When Logan was questioning him. Okay, Logan looked very, very, very suspicious of Dexter. He kind of blew it. He did a good job of blowing it off, but he seemed very suspicious. And Dexter is doing a horrible job of not being suspicious, by the way. But my big theory is all of these people are actually in on trying to trap Dexter, and they all know who Dexter is, and they're just trying to trap him some way. They're all setting him up. Harrison might not even be Harrison. All these people are setting him up, and then there is actually a serial killer there that they don't know about. And so then that's how he's going to finally get trapped, is they're going to see him kill that person. That's my most outlandish theory, because I don't think it's true, because there are so many plot holes with that. But that is my thing that I think Angela knows. I think Logan knows. I think probably Teddy knows. I think they all know.
And you only have 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah, 2 glasses of wine. That's my way out there theory.
I like it.
It would be cool, and it would kind of like also, I would love to see that, simply because that would turn on its head the entire run of the show, where Dexter was working with all of these really great and very smart people, most of whom were minorities, and almost all of whom were killed off throughout the run of the show. And wouldn't it be great if this department, staffed with a lot of minorities, finally got to trap him?
Yeah.
And then, it's like a complete turnaround from the original series. I doubt it, because, like, why would a show give that much credit to minorities if they don't have to? But it would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
sure would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's my very out there theory. I mean, I'm 99% sure that I'm wrong, but that's my really out there that even Kurt Caldwell is in on this. I mean, that's how out there, like with him saying he talked to his son, that's why he's saying that. Like, these other ways to sort of trap.
What was that Michael Douglas movie where, like, everything was a setup, and then
The Game?
Like, they're in a roof. Yeah. It's like,
I like that. Yeah.
So
bam, bam! Oh no, I killed my brother. Oh wait, I love that movie. Oops, spoilers. Sorry.
Spoilers for like a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah,
it's on you. But I don't know. That's my out there theory. I do think they're trying to be a little bit better about things this season than they have been before. I mean, they really are. I mean, that's why I think it's funny that every single person that is sketchy and creepy in this is a white man. It's like, I mean, really, I can't think of anyone that is sketchy and creepy that isn't a white man. So
I thought Logan was a little weird with Harrison trying to recruit him for the wrestling team.
Oh,
Because,
really?
well, just the opening. You want to wrestle? Like, maybe lead with that you're the wrestling coach at the high school.
Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
that, yeah.
sir, what?
Yeah. Just a little too excited. I don't know. I mean, that was the only part where I was like, whoa, pump the brakes, dude. Like, calm down. And then,
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
now that you mentioned that, and then with Aaron's theory in mind, and with the um, that interview that he had with Dexter, it puts me in the mind of thinking of, oh my god, I cannot believe I'm blanking on his name. The detective who was like so doggedly
Jokes?
after Dokes. Thank
Dokes.
you. Oh, can't believe I forgot his name. Of Dokes, where he's the black guy in the unit, and he's the one who really gets the closest, the earliest to the truth, and he gets killed off. And I'm like, on the one hand, like if he gets to be the one to really catch Dexter, maybe he's already onto Dexter, and he's just kind of like playing his cards so that he's keeping him close without really letting on. um, Maybe some kind of like way of the show saying like, oh, we really screwed it up with Doke, so here's here's an apology for that. um, but I don't know. That would be really interesting. But on the other hand, like I'm thinking, well, he's gonna die.
See,
Yeah.
I actually don't think a single person on that police force, unless it's Teddy being revealed as the serial killer, I don't think anyone is going to die on that police force. That's just my theory on it. And I'm probably just, once again, being too optimistic or something. But I don't know. There just seems to be a different feeling. I think they're trying to do things a lot differently. But I'm probably wrong. I don't know. That's just my, I don't know. I don't know. But I honestly don't think there is any way that they can end this without Dexter getting caught or killed. I just don't think
Mhm.
there's any way.
Mhm.
It doesn't make any logical sense if they were to do that again, where all of a sudden, I don't know, he
Then it would be like,
goes,
what was the point of
you know,
bringing it back? He
he
Yeah,
has
goes
to
off
die.
somewhere and becomes like, I don't know, what would he
A
become, like
sailor now? I
a
don't
sailor,
a
an ice,
fisherman?
yeah, a fisherman and a pirate.
well, then he'd have a lot of water to dump bodies in.
Mhm.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah,
because
he goes off.
it's not sustainable in the way that, like, when they brought back the X Files, and then they had, I think, like 3 more seasons of the show. um it's like you can kind of get away with it, but with a character like this, where his rightful end in the first place should have been
Yeah.
death or capture, and they decided to give him an out and just send him into a hurricane, and then come out the other side as like a lumberjack,
Mhm.
anonymous lumberjack 4. And that's like the ending that they wanted for him. Yeah, I don't. I'm enjoying this very, very much. I don't know that I will be happy with it if they let him off the hook again to have a season, um, of 10 and 11 and 12. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
No, I'm with you 100%. And I know because the original showrunner is back. I know the original showrunner way back when the show originally ended, he gave, and I will have to find it to see exactly what he said, but he gave what he would have done, and it was exactly that. I think it was that Dexter was actually on death row and or something like that. I think that was, but everybody
Ooh,
found out, like everybody on the force
yeah.
found out who he was.
So maybe they'll work in that kind of original ending this time
Yeah,
where we
that's what
see
he
maybe
wanted.
gets caught and on death row. Dude, that's like what everyone wanted except Showtime.
yeah,
I know, although
Literally everyone wanted him to die.
I will tell you though, now that I get lots of recommendations for Dexter fan pages, and I follow a couple of them, um, I will tell you a lot of those people do not want Dexter to die. It's really
mm,
weird because I remember when that happened and everybody wanted that, and all these people are like, "I'm going to be crying when Dexter dies, because everybody thinks he's going to die. That's the other thing, though, is that everybody thinks he's going to die, but a lot of these people don't want Dexter to die.
Get over
Which
it.
is
He's got to
weird
die.
to me. It's weird. I'm like, maybe they're new fans. They're not.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. But that's what I was gonna say. Like maybe like I really feel like they probably discovered the show after its initial run, and this may be like the same straight of people who look at Joe on You and are like, oh, he's so dreamy, and oh, like I want Joe to narrate his stalking of me. Like maybe that same kind of mindset where it's like it's sexy and cool, and like why would you want this character to die, even though like wanting a character to a show to end in the main character's death doesn't mean that you don't enjoy the show or the character.
Yeah,
exactly.
It acknowledges that this character is a horrible person, and that sometimes the right path narratively is an ending that provides closure on all fronts with the death sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I love Dexter. I absolutely love the character of Dexter. I love Michael C. Hall, which is very shocking to everybody, I'm sure. But
oh my God.
So shocked.
he's in my tier of men that I love and adore. But
Change your bed.
But he needs to die. He just does. It's just
he has to.
He has to die.
I love Dexter too. I love watching him kill. It's super awesome. I do. I love watching him kill these other like baddies. Like terrible, like worse.
I want this serial killer to die by his hands.
But Dexter needs to die. He does.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoyed the first 4 seasons of the original run and everything, and as much as I want him to kill some more this season, I understand that motherfucker needs to go at the end of all of this. We don't need, like Carla said, another 2-3 seasons of this. And the fact that, like, because I watch it through the Showtime, through Amazon Prime, it shows as season 1. And that makes me a little nervous. But IMDb does have it listed as a mini series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there are shows that were set to be limited runs that get renewed, and then they kind of have to come up with something to carry it on. And it's like, I think we talked about this in the last live stream, that Dexter dies, but then what if it sets up as a spin-off for Harrison or whatever?
I'm not interested, to be honest. Like, listen, I like Harrison.
It's the same stories, and it'd be the same setup.
Right. Like, I think Harrison is an interesting kid. He's an interesting character. I think it's really cool that he's like so mysterious, and he has like all of these talents and stuff that is just like, he honestly is like a tiny little CIA agent. He's kind of like Jason Bourne. So sometimes I do wonder if maybe he's like, in some kind of weird program or whatever. He's just using his skills to his benefit or whatever. Who freaking knows?
With the whole town.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally. The whole town is in on it, especially Harrison pretending to be this man's kid.
He set it all up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, not for nothing, but the fact that he looks nothing like Dexter also to me is like, but who knows? Genetics are weird. But yeah, he's a fascinating character. I don't need to see more seasons of him.
No. And I mean, I honestly don't think they were trying to do more seasons, but the thing is, this show is doing really well. And when something's doing really well,
they get
now executives smell the money.
Yeah, sadly.
And then they order more up however they can.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine if they did a show around Audrey?
Oh my God.
Obnoxious Audrey.
No, they'll do it around Molly Park and all her many adventures in podcasting. The podcaster show.
Yeah, but okay. Can we devote 2 seconds to talk about how awful Audrey is?
Sure.
Because for all that she is behind the right causes and, the environment and, whatever, she's an awful person because Ethan is being absolutely bullied by her little group. I don't care whether she's doing it with them or not. She's aware that this is happening, and her whole reaction is, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Like, that just happens. Them's the breaks.
Mhm.
And it's such a ridiculous thing to have these supposed standards for people to do good for the world, and you're passively letting a kid be bullied
Mm-hmm.
and doing nothing
Mhm.
about it because she has clout within the group.
Mm-hmm.
Zach is her freaking boyfriend, and does she like? Has she ever called him out on this? Like, has she ever said, "Hey guys, maybe we could not"?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree because it's like, yeah, she wants to do good and help the world and all these other causes, but it's like you're not seeing shit in your own front yard that you literally have control over. You can
Yeah,
literally do something about the Ethan situation. Not to say that she can't do anything for her other causes, but this would have like quite possibly an immediate effect, immediate change, something that can be done. And, just starting small that way. Like, yeah, she's protesting and she's calling rich white dudes out. Like, yeah, that's great. But no, I agree. That's pretty shitty that she's just kind
yeah,
of like, it's like she doesn't want to risk her status in this small town in the high
Mhm.
yeah,
school by standing up to her shitty boyfriend and being like, maybe you should have stopped bullying Ethan like 7 fucking years ago, when we
yeah.
maybe kind of grew out of it a little bit. So, no, I
Right.
agree. That's a good point.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But and then also along with that is, the guy was super creepy when she was, stalled on the road, and he approaches her in his gigantic um rich man's vehicle and whatever that could probably hide like six step bodies, and who would even know?
And he was
But
playing old-timey music like in the
I
first
know. I
album.
know. Mhm.
Mhm.
red flags everywhere. But he does call out her hypocrisy about the environmental ramifications of her driving a car, which, to be fair to her, like, she doesn't probably have a lot of choice in what kind of car
Yeah.
she has. She's a
Mhm.
teenager. She doesn't have the money that you have, dude. But maybe like that was some kind of way of trying to call it her hypocrisy, um, indirectly. Like the show being like, "Oh, see, she's not perfect and whatever." But I'm
Mhm.
enough. I mean, those are creepy guys. It's quick, so it's easy to discount.
But I think though she's a reflection of the way a lot of people are that are so like I can think of a particular person in the supernatural fandom who
Mhm.
is very like gung ho about a lot of causes and helping people and doesn't and then is like a huge bully and really mean and cruel to people. And I think that's actually unfortunately, sadly, that's a lot that's more the case than it's not the case. And you also look at people that are like big time environmentalists. And like, I know a lot of people criticize Leonardo DiCaprio is the first one because I know he's thought of as that because he's like, way up there as far as celebrities go, as far as the most vocal. And a lot of people say, well, look at him. He flies around on doesn't he have like a private jet or something? And he does that. And isn't that like not very environmentally conscious and all that stuff? So I think it is that kind of thing where there are a lot of people that are hypocrites in what they are doing and what they're saying, and then they go and do some. And I think it's human nature, honestly, because I think a lot of us to some degree are hypocrites in different ways that we don't even acknowledge or realize, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And with the environmental thing, there are a lot of factors to that because yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so scary here that right now we haven't had any measurable snow. That is not usual. That's
Mhm.
really weird. And like 10 days out, no moisture. We're going to be like in the 70s.
Wow.
That's very
Damn.
weird. It's very warm here. We had a cold morning this morning, and a really cold day yesterday, but that's been about it. And we had some snow, but it wasn't measurable enough, so it doesn't count as a first snow. So it's like that's from the environment, but I know I could do a lot more, and I'm not doing enough. And even though I'm like that, I'm like, oh, I'm recycling and I'm doing this, but I'm not probably doing as much as I could do. So I
Yeah,
think
but
it's all about
you're, I mean, as far as I know, you're not down there protesting and making a big noise and making a big stink about how other people should be doing and living their lives and saving the environment. You're doing what you can with what you're able to do. And I think that's kind of the difference. Like with Audrey, she's making all this noise. Oh, don't do this and don't do that.
and then
And,
she's bullying.
she's, not necessarily wrong, but then it's kind of like, well, yeah, then I mean, yeah, she probably doesn't have a choice over the vehicle that she drives. Probably can't. And plus living out wherever they're at, you probably need
Yeah.
something that's a bit more of a gas guzzler to get you through those roads and shit. So, but I don't think it's the same. I do agree that I think we all have uh subconscious hypocrisies that we're not aware of, but I don't see like what you just said anywhere close to what happened with Audrey and being called out and shit like that, because she is out here trying to make the noise, make that splash, bring the awareness and whatnot. But again, she ain't cleaning up the shit in her own front yard. You will
Yeah.
try to clean up your own front yard. if that all makes any sense.
No, it does. Yeah. And I think I was more speaking just to the general fact of that comment of him saying
Mm-hmm.
you're a hypocrite for driving this car
Yeah,
when
gotcha.
you're going against this. And I think and people criticize environmentalists, I think, a lot for that kind of stuff. You'll see that constantly, like, or
Mm-hmm.
you'll see, oh, you're a vegetarian and you're wearing leather or that kind of stuff, And
Yeah.
there is hypocrisy in that, but I think it depends. Like if like all three of us, because I know who we are as people, but if we were all on the side bullying people constantly or standing by while other people get so bullied that, maybe they're like depressed or suicidal or that kind of stuff, then that would be real. And I'm not saying that that's to that level necessarily that she's aware of, but if that's the kind of thing that I think is that is worse than her driving a car that she really has no choice in the
Mm-hmm.
matter of, and especially where she, like you said, where she's living, she doesn't have a choice in the matter. It's more the fact that she doesn't care that somebody's getting bullied because all she sees is the bigger picture. She doesn't see the smaller little details as well and stuff in front of
Yeah.
her. So, and it doesn't give her clout either. That's the other.
Yeah. And one of the things that I was inarticulately trying to say is that um, I think that the show was maybe okay. There are a lot of times when shows try to make really good social and political points um, about big issues, and then they do it in a very elliptical way to where the impact that they wanted to make isn't made, or where they just flat out don't see something glaring as, like, well, this isn't the issue, that's the issue. And, I'm wondering whether it is a matter of bringing up her hypocrisy, um, or whether they just thought, well, like we've brought up the fact that she wears the right t-shirts and she supports the right causes and she's just a flawed teen. It's like, kind of, but at the same time, you're hinging this whole thing of her being a good person but flawed on her letting somebody be bullied, which is more than just a flaw. That's like a glaringly just not a good person thing. If that makes any sense.
No,
If it doesn't,
blame it on the wine.
There you
sure.
go.
No, I think that makes perfect sense. And I want to say one thing I was very happy about, and this is another reason I like Harrison, is there was no second of hesitation from Harrison. No second of like, I like this girl, because you get the impression that he has kind of a crush on her. And I think actually that whole thing kind of tainted his feelings on her a lot, I could tell. But there was no moment of hesitation of like, I'm not going to be cool. I'm not going to fit in. He did not care. And it probably had a lot to do with, his background. But that was really amazing to me. And that's why I don't want him to be a killer, because
Mhm.
I just like him too much. And I just thought that was just really cool to see, because usually what you would see is the exact opposite. And I just thought it was nice that he was instantly like, this is not okay, and I'm
Mhm.
not gonna let this happen. And you saw, and it wasn't like, when he was looking at those pictures being shown to him by Ethan, you could see there was actually fear in his eyes. He was trying not to show it, but you could see that it was there, and kind of like, oh crap, maybe this person's messed up too. So
Like
Take it
really
as a
messed
sign,
up.
Harrison. Everybody in that town is messed up.
Mhm.
Go somewhere else. Get
Yep.
Yeah.
away
Go
from
away
murder,
from there.
USA.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll close out, is I just want to talk about Deb for just a minute, Dark Deb, because I love Dark Deb. I adore Dark Deb. The whole bathroom scene was incredible, and she's kind of creepy. And then, of course, the Fargo scene we've already mentioned. And I'm guessing Jennifer Carpenter is having a blast doing this. I can only imagine. And I do wonder, this is really totally trashy and tabloidy for me to wonder, but I wonder if there's a part of her that's like, I have some unfinished business with you, Michael C. Hall,
Mhm.
and I'm working this out.
I was just gonna say, like, how often do you get to be paid to hold a gun to your ex's head,
Mhm.
I
to
know.
like inflict physical violence to your ex, and that's what you're getting paid for? Like, that's your actual job.
Mhm.
I know. I was like, I don't want to be that trashy catty person, but I am, because that's what I kept thinking. That bathroom scene, I'm like, she's probably like, this fucking rocks,
Hey,
man.
listen, I want to be above that kind of thinking too. I
Yeah.
want to be like, no, that's horrible. But no, that was also what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So,
Same here. And I think you're right. She has to be having a lot of fun, because you can always tell when actors are having fun with a role, with a job, because
Yeah.
it comes through. And she is just a fucking joy and a delight to see up on screen. And then again, the fact that it's all Dexter saying these
Yeah.
things to himself makes it even just even better, because he's being so harsh on himself, but through using Deb as that like conduit to do so. And so it just comes across so much like creepier and just better. I love it so much. I love Dark
yes.
Deb.
Me too, man.
Even Dark
She's
Deb.
amazing. I mean, Deb's already my all-time favorite female television character, but I love her even more now. And I push Michael C. Hall with the Emmy stuff, but I think Jennifer Carpenter deserves just as much attention there. I always
Absolutely.
think she did.
She
Mhm.
Yeah,
was
she's incredible.
fantastic. Fantastic. Like, so much of the original run of the series really was so solid because of her. Like, they had an amazing cast. They really did. They had so many great actors there.
Mhm.
But I, she was a standout. I mean,
Yeah.
like, just,
A standout.
yeah,
Yeah.
words.
Words
Yeah,
and
words.
things and
She's
feelings.
And she's a great actress in general. I mean, really, she does some. I pushed it on one of our other episodes, but go watch The Exorcism of Emily Rose. She is so flippin' good in that movie. So she was also in A Mouthful of Air, by the way, the movie that I've
Hey.
been recommending. She's a total bitch, but she's in that. Not a total. There's reasons that she's a bitch, but she's good. She's good in that too. Very different for her, but yeah.
And then I
But
think she was
Exorcism of
in some
Emily
other
Rose,
she was
great.
in some like horror movie. I think it was like a found footage because I'm a sucker for found footage. I've watched a lot of really bad. It's easy to do found footage poorly. This one, it was kind of I think it was like called Quarantine.
Oh
But
yeah.
and
Yeah, it was Quarantine.
I remember not hating it. So I think, and then it was also kind of too, it's like, am I going to see her as anything other than Deb? And I did. She did a good job, and it was it was fine. It was all right. But those are the only, so Dexter and that are the only things oh, and then The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I forget. I haven't seen that one in so long.
Yeah, she's so good in that. Yeah, I was trying to see other ones to say, but what was that? There was something else on here, but I can't remember. Oh, and she was in a TV show that was canceled really, really quickly called The Enemy Within. It was actually mentioned on our
Ah.
on our One Hit Wonders show by the other Aaron mentioned that one. But yeah, I love, love, love her. I just adore her. So yeah, I'm sure she's having fun being like, I get to do this to my ex-husband. and we all know I love Michael, but that's gotta be feeling really good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It has to. It has to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they still have great chemistry, so they still have that chemistry going. But anyway, well, thank you both so much. This isn't like a regular episode that anyone's ever going to see other than on YouTube. So when people come watch it, you can say where you can be found, Carla, and then I'll promote the birthday thing.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Meg and I, Meg, who hasn't been mentioned so far, I'm just used to saying Meg and I. But yes, my co-host Meg and I have a podcast called Bedwet or Behead, in which we play FMK with characters from shows and movies. So check us out on Twitter at bedwetbeheadpod, Instagram at wet.bed.behead.com. Wait, no, that pod?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a second. At bedwetbeheadpod. At bedwetbeheadpod. Pod.
Whoa, and then she just sucked down.
Pod.
That's so funny. I'm like, wait a minute.
My camera keeps slipping. Keeps slipping.
I thought you
Yeah.
I did, but then my camera also slipped, so it was like the perfect convergence of like, my camera is feeling my mood. My camera's also drunk. But yes, Bedwet or Behead podcast, find us.
I wish there was Meg would watch Dexter, because I just popped in my head. That would be an interesting one to do. I mean, you couldn't do Dexter, obviously, because I think but yeah.
Just for the mouth breathing alone.
And the hair, the bad hair. And Jen.
What?
We're
on about. Yeah, hi, I'm still here.
What?
Present.
Jen.
Long day. On Twitter.
See, now I don't feel so bad.
I'm not even drunk. At least you've got like your bottle of wine as you're like, see me, I've got none of that. All right. Twitter at Streaming Bubble, and then Facebook and Instagram, My Streaming Bubble, and then podcast can be found on pretty much all platforms: Spotify, Apple, Google, all the places. So check it out.
Awesome. And you can follow me on Twitter at @AprilBeauty. The E and the A and the B are capitalized. I'm a lot of fun over there. Just ask.
I mean, I think what we're bringing back to the penis cake somehow.
Whoa, that wasn't even where I was going, but okay.
I don't know. It sounded like it. It's sort of podcast. I'm not gonna.
I'm a lot of fun on there. Not that kind of fun. I'm 18 plus only. I think I should. I hope this YouTube video doesn't get like.
Hi everybody. It's a fandom thing after dark.
Here, I want you to this is really funny that you said that, because That was from one of our horror trivia nights.
I love it.
So yeah, that just cracked me up. So I had to put that up there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I geek out over there and whatever I'm geeking out on. So yeah, and then you can follow me.
We're all doing great tonight.
Yeah.
I know. But be sure to like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/It's a Fandom Think Pod, on Twitter at Fandom Think Pod, Fandom Think Pod. What the
No,
hell?
it's in that one.
Yeah, no, thank you, Carla. On Instagram at It's a Fandom Think Pod. On TikTok, we finally started getting our views back up again. Thank you. At It's a Fandom Think Pod. We were doing horrible. Like, we had a couple of videos on there that had like 2 views. I guess I shouldn't promote that kind of stuff.
Maybe we'll talk about that, Erin. Like, DM us with that kind of stuff. Hey, everybody. Follow It's a Fandom Thing's incredibly popular and very well-regarded TikTok.
Very nice videos up there that we put up there. You know,
with a massive amount of views.
Massive.
Like hundreds of thousands of views. Thank you, Carla. I'm like, wait, why am I advertising bad stuff?
My God.
And tomorrow, even though I still just realizing I have to finish my edit on the episode. Good thing I drank 7 cups of coffee.
There you go.
All I have to do is do a quick scrub through and just, I'm like tempted to just be like, okay, let me find kind of a halfway point, see if that would work for a commercial spot. If it does, I'll just do that and forget clips. But then I'll feel bad. We'll see. And who cares if there might be some other errors in there? I don't know. So excuse this episode. It's gonna be great. Sorry, I keep putting down the
It's gonna be the best episode. You guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be perfect.
Maybe we can just, talk about this after this.
I know. I'm like, what the heck? Well, I'm like, no one's watching us right now anyway. So, but it doesn't mean they can't come back and
Tomorrow,
watch it.
Erin is releasing a fascinating, in-depth look into the 1-season show called My So-Called Life.
Thank you.
And it's going to be edited so wonderfully that you will be completely agog at Erin's technological prowess.
Thank you, Carla. That's much better.
Listen, okay, we can't keep doing this. I'm too drunk to be your publicist.
But you're so good at it.
No, you're a lot better than I am right now.
Drunk Carla should be everyone's publicist.
You're amazing. Okay, let's just don't put yourself down right now. I'm not gonna have it. I will not have it. I will not take it. You shouldn't take it either. You're fabulous and wonderful. Okay, everybody should listen to all of your podcasts.
Woo, woo, woo. But yeah, so that's My So-Called Life being released tomorrow, which is Friday. And on it, we talk about Jared Padaletto.
That's hilarious.
I will never get over that.
No, that's the best thing ever. We've had a new person join us. So hi. Right in at the end. When we've all lost it. So I was just talking about wonderful, beautiful, amazing episode we're releasing tomorrow that I did a great job with, called My So-Called Life.
And that is completely edited already.
Mm-hmm. All done. Just waiting.
Yep, just waiting for me to. It's already scheduled to drop tomorrow. I already got that.
Everything is done. It's just gonna happen. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
You wake up. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. It'll be there. It'll be there in the morning. It's fine.
But Saturday, if you want more fun like this, come tune in for a special live stream celebrating me or celebrating my birthday. I need to get over the fact that I need Carla, my publicist, to be like,
Listen,
stop
on
putting it
Saturday,
down.
where are you
There
gonna
you
be?
go.
Where are you gonna be? You're gonna be right here. You're gonna be right here celebrating Erin. Woo woo! It's her birthday weekend, and we're going to celebrate with a couple of hours of trivia and games, and we're gonna talk all things Erin and things that Erin is into. So show up.
Yes, it'll be so much fun. I mean, I already have come up with some trivia questions about myself that people will have to guess. I'm making it multiple choice, and this is for the panelists. This isn't for people viewing it, but I will be giving away like some of the podcast pins with our horror logo on it and magnets, and those will be for people donating to charities. So we're probably going to have hopefully Eli and Pasha with the Parasol Patrol. So they are going to be on. They do amazing work and they're going to talk about their organization. If they're not on, we're still going to have that as a list of places for people to donate to. You show proof, I may give you something. I'll probably also be pumping up our Patreon, pumping up, buy me a coffee. So if you want to also do that, if you also want to give to the podcast at the same time, that's great too. And also, Erin, the other Erin, she went out of town. She's gonna still try and be on. She's out of town, but she dropped off a gift for me before she left. And I was like, "Oh, thank you. That's so sweet." And she's like, "Well, don't say thank you yet." But
I love the paper. I like the paper.
I know.
It's so
She's like, "I
pretty.
know it's Christmas wrapping paper," but I'm like, "I don't care."
It's
But
technically after Thanksgiving, so it's fine.
Close
yeah.
enough.
I know. And she's like, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll open it tonight," because she dropped it off on Tuesday. She's like, "No, you have to open it on the live stream, and you have to open it when Carla is preferably there."
Ooh,
So
intriguing.
I'm gonna try and do it when you are there, Carla. So
Okay.
yes, but I will probably be drinking during this live stream. So it'll be fun to watch me.
I am very excited for this. Incredibly excited for this.
Thank you. I don't think we are gonna play Never Have I Ever, like Meg suggested. There was a part of me that went, yes, let's play that. And I'm like, this is not gonna be fun.
Oh, that game can get dangerous.
Yes. But we will play some games. If people have any suggestions for games that would be good on a live stream, please let me know because my wonderful brain has so many ideas and I just need to sort through them.
That's like, I already know the answer, but I just wanted to know what you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be fun. I've sent off the link to people. Seriously, this is what I did this week. So I'm hoping that we get some surprises. We will see. I sent the link off to a bunch of people in an email. And I said, don't tell me when you're coming on.
Surprise.
Just surprise me if you end up
Yes.
coming on. And I'll see you backstage.
Oh, so that's what Christian Bale was talking to me about the other day.
Oh.
He told me, Carla, I think I'll see you on Saturday. And I was like, Christian Bale, you're already living with me. Like, I see you every day. Why Saturday ain't special? Yeah, you'll find out. That guy.
I would faint. If
Oh, God. Your Christian Bale is so good, Carla.
I know,
So
isn't
good.
it?
I think, like if he needed like a double at any point in a movie, I could probably just step in, no problem. Nobody could tell the difference.
Yeah. And we are going to have merch pretty soon that does say it's a Christian effing Bale thing. That is going to be there. And we have some stuff that's designed for certain other things. And you should see the Eurovision one is so awesome. I can't wait for Carla to see it because Erin has just kind of done rough designs of it. But for some things we know copyright wise, we can't necessarily use the names like Lord of the Rings and that kind of stuff because we'll get chased after. If it's a person's name though, and they're in the public eye, they kind of I don't mean to say like you don't matter.
What are you gonna do about it, Christian Bale?
Yeah.
I guess nothing. I'll just be alone for the ride then.
with some of these people, we are going to be tagging them in pictures of the stuff that we have created and say they can have a
Awesome.
free one. We're coming up with ones for certain people that have been on the podcast, like special guests is certain things that I'm trying to work. Don't know what we're going to do for that one, but anyway, sorry, we can finish now. So we can finish now.
Are you sure, Aaron? Are you sure?
There's more that I have to lovely promote in such a wonderful way, but next week, 80s. There, that's the end.
Yes. I'm so excited for that.
I am too. 80s movies and 80s music. The 80s music is the one I'm the most excited for.
Ooh.
So, yes. So, anyway, thank you, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.